Yo, what's up, movie people? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Movie News. We got a pretty decent episode coming up for you. We got some Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling movie news, Captain America movie news, DC news, and we got more box office news because the weekend just passed. But let's get right to the news. Alright, first up on our news today, we have Captain America news, and we have our first behind the scenes look at Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. And it looks like Anthony Mackie has a new suit on for Captain America, which is kind of interesting because I don't like how Marvel just changes the suits of characters so quickly, because they only do it to make new toys so they can sell more toys. But, I loved Anthony Mackie's suit in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought that suit was awesome. So I'm kind of disappointed, but we don't have really a full look at it. But I'm just glad to see that they're filming, getting stuff done, because I've heard that they might be done filming in about a month or so. So this film is moving along great. And they did change the title from Captain America New World Order to Captain America Brave New Order. So that really doesn't, I don't really care about that too much. It's just really a title change. It doesn't really affect my viewing of it. It might affect your viewing of it. Let me know if you guys hate the title change. I don't hate it. It's not as good as New World Order, but it's not bad. But I'm happy to see that they're almost done filming, so that movie will make its release date. Now we got some Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling news. Their new film Ocean's 11 prequel movie is going to be an old-fashioned love story adventure set during a heist on a yacht at the 1962 Monaco Grand Prix. That just sounds so exciting. We're of course getting Barbie with Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie this year, which is going to be just a mega hit at the box office. And this film just sounds like such a fun time. I just love Ryan Gosling so much. I love Margot Robbie. They're two of my favorites. Ryan Gosling is my favorite actor of all time, like I've said before. And just hearing the description of this movie sounds awesome. I'm a big fan of the Ocean's movies, but I'm not a big fan of the sequels after the first one. I like the first one a lot. I think it's great, but I'm not really a big fan of the sequels. But I think the Ocean's movies, if they're done well, they're really fun. The actors kind of carry them so much, and I feel like the actors are going to carry this so well. And it being an epic love story, oh, that makes it much better with these two actors. They're just going to have so much fun on set, and I cannot wait. And we got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is tracking to earn 60 to 70 million in the film's domestic opening weekend. This is not great. If you're a fan of Indiana Jones, you should be worried. This film is carrying a hefty budget. I think it's about 250 to 300 million for the film's budget, and then you have to add like 50 to 100 million more for marketing budget. So you're looking at a 350 million dollar budget, which it's a lot. That's a hefty budget for an Indiana Jones movie, and I don't know why Disney is having these large budgets. The only budget that should be really high for their movies is Avatar, because Avatar makes the most money and it looks the best. So I don't know why Indiana Jones has a budget that high, because it needs to make like 650 million to break even. And this movie's not going to get there. With that opening weekend, it will be lucky to even pass 400 million worldwide and 200 million domestically. And this is just not a good opening weekend. I guess maybe people are getting their tickets the day of. Maybe there's not a lot of pre-sales. I don't know what's going on with this movie. I'm definitely going to see it, but it does not look great, and the reviews that I've heard don't look great. But I thought the trailers just look okay at points, and the CG looks really noticeable at points, so I'm kind of disappointed with that because James Mangold is directing, but I still have hope because James Mangold is directing. I still have a decent amount of hope for that movie. Then we have Universal and Illumination are reportedly closing a deal to make a Legend of Zelda movie. I don't have a lot of experience with Legend of Zelda like I do with Mario, because I've never played a Legend of Zelda game all the way through. I played little bits of it because I played on my friend's Switch, and I feel like it's a really fun game. It's visually beautiful, but I've never really got into the story because I haven't played all of it. But I'm not ready for Illumination to make a Legend of Zelda movie, because their animation is just so lazy in my opinion. Mario's animation was fine, compared to other studios though. Illumination is just so behind what animation is nowadays. It's just kind of lazy for me, and Universal just seems to be a little too simple with their stories. I know some people like Mario's story. I felt like it was a little too simple for me. But Legend of Zelda probably needs a more intense plot, more story to be added to it. I don't know if Universal is the studio for that, so that just makes me a little bit worried. But I would like to hear what people who played this game would say to this, because I haven't played the game all the way through, so I don't know. But let me know in the comments if you have and what your thoughts on that are. And we got our first logo for the new Ghostbusters film coming out this Christmas. I think it's this Christmas. If it gets delayed, then it won't be this Christmas. But if they move it, then that won't make sense because it looks like it's winter themed. Like the icicles are going over the Ghostbusters logo. I think we're having the same cast for this one. I loved the one back in 2021, I think it was. That movie was great in my opinion. I had a fun time with it. So I'm actually very excited for that one. Then we got our last story before the box office news. The Authority will appear in Superman Legacy. So James Gunn's already interconnecting his universe, which I'm very happy to see. But that means he's going to have to cast most of the Authority while he casts Superman. So a lot of casting news is probably going to be announced by Comic-Con. So we'll have a lot to go over about. I don't have a lot of thoughts over this because I don't know the Authority too much. Just like before Guardians, I didn't know the Guardians of the Galaxy that much. I like that James Gunn is introducing like general audiences to these people in the comments that not a lot of people know. But I'm very excited. I love this. I love how James Gunn approaches like groups of heroes and villains. I think it's really cool. And I think it would be cool if the Authority fought Superman. That would be awesome. But I'm so excited for when James Gunn takes over DC and makes his first DC movie with Superman Legacy. I think it's going to be an awesome hit. Let's get right to the box office news. Alright, and for our box office news, we're going to talk about Transformers and Spider-Man once again. Transformers came in first place with $60.5 million in the film's domestic opening weekend. So that came in first place over Spider-Verse, but it was actually pretty close. But $60 million is the third lowest Transformers opening. So I wouldn't say this is great, but I wouldn't say this is bad. This is more good. It all depends on what the legs of this film are going to be. It probably needs to make about 600 to 700 million worldwide to break even and even a little bit of profit. So I'm not saying that this is great, but it's nowhere in the realm of bad yet. You have to wait until what its overall run is going to be. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, crossed 200 million at the US box office, and it grossed 55.5 million in its second 3-day weekend. Only a 54% drop. That's actually really good. Like, if you get a superhero movie, usually the drops are in the 60s, high 60%. But this movie is just amazing. It's holding very well through the weekdays, and this weekend only dropping 54%. I believe that drop might go down to a 52%, 53% after the official Sunday numbers come in tomorrow. But right now, it's doing well, and it's eyeing a 375 million, 405 million US run. That is just amazing. It's going to double the US run, maybe even triple the US run of the original. That's crazy to think about. But I'm so happy for this film because it's one of my favorite films of all time now. And it's doing some big numbers, and I think Beyond the Spider-Verse will do even bigger numbers at the box office next year. Hopefully it still comes out next year, but I think the third one can do so well. It could probably hit 400 to 500 million domestically at least, because these movies are just great. All the audiences are going to see them, and I expect next week's drop isn't going to be that much either because The Flash is not tracking well. We'll talk more about The Flash next week, but that's it for movie news these last 3 days. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the news that we just had drop, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.